Right. Hi, my name's GregoryPoelzer. I'm a PhD student in political science at LTU. So I'll be going over our project, the idea behind it. So as you guys may have heard, there's been some dispute over mine development in Sweden lately. And so this was something that we want to investigate a little bit further. What are the roots of this? So research internationally shows that sustainable development, different conceptions of sustainable development have influenced conflict, but that institutions matter, and political scientists always say that. So what were we going to do? Look at the institutional framework in different contexts to see how that may affect the occurrences of conflict. What we want to look at is what can be achieved with better procedures, and does Canada offer the right contextual base to make some comparisons and learn some new things. So two sort of practical objectives. The first is develop tools to manage the Swedish land use conflicts involving the mining industry, indigenous communities, and the state. And then compare concepts of social licensing, social acceptance, and mine establishment across Sweden and Canada to explore the role of regulatory framework and identify functioning practices in relation to indigenous rights and land use. So this is really about predictability. Is there a framework that works to enable more predictability both on the Swedish side and the Canadian side? So that's the other thing. This isn't just a learning exercise for Sweden, this is a learning exercise for Canada. We think that there can be some shared knowledge across both these jurisdictions. So more from our academic standpoint, what's the theoretical framework? So how can we understand the interplay between the state, community, and company and their interactions? And what effect does this sort of these 3 points have on the institutional framework? So to carry out this work, we too are going to have a bunch of workshops because social scientists like workshops, and we're going to do it on 5 different case studies, 2 in Sweden and 3 in Canada. So first we're going to have preparatory workshops working with a lot of our stakeholders both on the Swedish side and the Canadian side, then dive into the cases, then sort of come back up and do a comparative analysis across all of them, and then actually have a joint workshop for all of the partners to meet together in Sweden to see what we can figure out together. Why did we pick the cases that we picked? Well, we want to pick a combination of high contestation and low contestation cases, and we also want to pick a variety of cases with different institutional frameworks to see what happens when you have certain frameworks and does that lead to contestation, and what can we learn from each of them. In terms of progress, we're at the early stages of the project. We've had preparatory meetings in Canada. We've met with most of the stakeholders. We have most of the partners in place. So our next task is to actually set up the workshops, set dates, and invite everyone. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you for listening.